Hello, welcome back, and thanks for watching True Stories with me, Sherry Weens. This morning we've got the coverage from Christopher Watts's live footage at his hearing, and I just want to share a few of the words that were spoken. The representative for the Watts family did take quite some time to sort of make a speech for the Watts family, Cindy and Ronnie. I thought that she kind of took an opportunity to maybe speak a little too much, but that's just my personal opinion, you know, whatever. Tell me your thoughts, though, if you did watch the live, what you think about what she said. Some of the points that they had sort of made was, you know, saying that the process hasn't been followed in terms of the confession. And, you know, of course they took the opportunity to sort of state that they love him and that they forgive him for everything that he's done. I didn't really like how Ronnie Watts sort of took the opportunity to state that he was sort of Shanann's father in a way as well. I don't think he really was. I don't think that he necessarily cared for anybody, you know, as far as Shanann and it goes. I feel that maybe he did very much love his grandchildren and stuff like that. But the fact that they did say they'll never abandon Chris Watts definitely started crying at that moment. And definitely interesting to sort of watch his expressions change, his demeanor sort of become more agitated. Now, some of the evidence did sort of get presented by the prosecution, and you know, really sad to hear how Christopher had sort of buried both of the bodies separated in different oil tanks, and the fact that there was only an 8-inch diameter hole to sort of put the bodies into. Bella had scratches all over her buttocks from being stuffed into those oil tanks. And sadly, Christopher had stated in his confession that he could tell that the oil tanks one was more empty than the other one because he could hear the different splash sounds with their bodies. So absolutely brutal that he recounted that in that way. Celeste didn't have as many injuries, but they were both smothered. So we do know that Bella fought for her life. She bit her tongue several times, and she definitely she knew what was happening. She knew that her dad was doing something very wrong, and that's just heartbreaking. I literally had to clean myself up before doing this story because I was spending so much time crying. I mean, it's just so heartbreaking to see the Rusick family come forward and say how much they trusted him when he gave his daughter to Christopher Watts when they got married in November 2012. He trusted he trusted Christopher to be a loving husband and to protect his daughter and to protect his grandchildren, and he trusted them. And, you know, nothing short of telling him he's an evil monster is exactly what ended up happening. Absolutely heartbreaking to watch the Rusick family, you know, fall apart again and have to relive this. I'm hoping this is the end of their pain and they can go into grieving now. They stated in the process of the trial here, in the process of the courts, that Christopher Watts texted coworkers the day before stating that he was going to be able to go and check on the site at the oil field where he buried Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. I feel like that's kind of premeditated in a sense. If he was already thinking about where he was going to be burying people, you know, covering his tracks in the sense of making sure he was going to be alone at that oil field, he did that the day before. So I think that's just cold and callous. Definitely not okay. They also state that after he had disposed of the bodies, which you can see on the camera surveillance of the neighbor, him loading, you know, coming in and out of the house, loading things into the truck on 3 separate trips, which we all know now are 3 bodies he was loading into his vehicle. Christopher also took the time to give the schools a call and tell them that the girls were going to be unenrolled. I believe he was trying to buy himself some time to cover this up, and that's just scary. And then, of course, he was texting his new girlfriend, Nicole, trying to arrange his future, in a sense, with her. Now, the Watts representative, you know, was stating that they're sincerely sorry for all of this. But I don't see that he's really that remorseful or sorry. And tell me your thoughts if you think that maybe he is sorry, or do you think he's more sorry because he got caught? Now, the judge's statement was really empowering, I think. He specifically asked Christopher Watts if he wanted to take the opportunity to address the courts. And the only two words that came out of Christopher Watts's mouth was "no, sir." So the judge, proceeds to explain the plea bargain and let people know what his thoughts are. And his exact words were, "This was a senseless crime. The viciousness of it is despicable. The acts of disposing the bodies in his 17 years on the judicial, as a judicial officer, he has never seen something so inhumane and vicious in all his cases." He proceeds to sentence Christopher to life sentences consecutively to be served for each of the murders of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, all, of course, without the possibility of parole. And he also gives him 48 years consecutive for the trusting of the daughters trusting him as an adult, and 12 years consecutive punishment for each tampering of the bodies. He is due to pay the restitution as well as all the court fees that are involved in this. So I suspect that he's definitely weighing on a heavy mind. He showed very little emotion, but he did seem to cry once his parents had sort of come forward and stated how much they loved him. If you had an opportunity to watch the live feed, please give me your feedback. Tell me what you think about this. Do you feel that he was really sorry about what he did? Or do you feel that maybe he was just sorry because he got caught? I appreciate your viewing. I appreciate your support, and I definitely will keep you guys posted with any more new information that I receive. And thanks for watching, folks. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.